Hi there, welcome to our coaches chat. My name is Ashley, and I am one of the coaches and owners of Precision Movement. And today we're going to talk about safety and belonging. Now, this topic has come up because of a conversation that we were having at our 9 a.m. class with some of the people there after the workout. And I can't help but maybe take this part for granted just because I've been in it for a while and in this style of fitness, plus then owning the gym and just being a part of people's lives, that I tend to take this piece for granted. And it was brought up today, so I thought that it was a good piece to be able to share with you guys as to what happens at our gym. And with some of the conversations and things that were being brought up, safety was one of them. And when we think of safety in a gym, my first thought is the safety of the movements, and that we do the movements the best to our ability within a range of motion, within a comfort level of what is appropriate for ourselves. So let's take somebody that has knee issues or a shoulder thing going on, that we still want movement, but we want to be able to perform it safely and in a pattern that is not going to hinder our progress. And so that's something that can be applied to everybody. No matter your age, your athletic ability. And in our 9 a.m. crew, we have people that are retired and people that are joining the fitness game later on in life, where they were never comfortable in a gym, a traditional gym setting, to be able to do what they're doing because they didn't know what they were doing and whether they were doing it right. So the safety piece, right? Am I squatting correctly? Do I have the right form where I'm not hurting myself? And knowing when to load the bar and when to take back. So at the gym, at our gym, having that guidance from the coaching of knowing that this is the amount of weight that we should be doing today, this is how it should feel. If our coaches notice something and say, hey, let's try, this positioning versus that and see how it feels, and just giving that extra oversight to be able to see to make sure that you are moving correctly. And so that safety part of moving our bodies safely is an important piece, right? And when we think about doing things the right way, we think about our form and that. But then there was also the safety piece of the environment and feeling safe to be able to enter into space and not feel, for lack of a better word, an ick, right? Or just, the red flags, or maybe not just red flags, but maybe the caution flags, right? That I should approach this environment with caution, and just being aware of surroundings and who is there. Now, at our gym, everybody knows everybody. And if you haven't met everybody, eventually you will meet everybody and people will know your name. So there's that piece of safety of knowing that when I come into this space at a certain time, I anticipate to see the same people. And seeing the same people creates that homey feeling. And that's where we really get to create community, and we call it like our gym family, right? And that we're more than a gym. We are a place where people can gather and like-minded and just be together, right? And so, so if you come to whatever class time, you know that so-and-so is probably going to be there. And then you have somebody to talk to and know something about you. And anyone who's new that comes in, you may not know them, but you know that opportunity will come about. It's not like they're going to be off in their corner doing their thing, and then you're going to be off in your corner doing your thing, and you never really have, that icebreaker, that conversation starter. Like, there's going to be a point where it's just going to happen, and you don't have to force it or make it happen. It's just how we collect everybody and we make everybody come in a circle, right? We'll talk about the workout, or we'll just have discussion. We'll laugh, we'll joke. There's a lot of joking that goes on. But just always having a good time and just being super lighthearted and including everyone. So that's the piece, I think, too, that from us as coaches, where we get to have a play in this, is that we make sure to include everyone. So whether that be us saying hello to you as you walk into the door, us asking you Do you need help with modifications or telling you good job, high-fiving, all of that, that you know that that is going to happen. Which then brings us to a sense of belonging. And that because of that, and because we are bringing everybody together and making this be one family, one team, if you will, that we are working together. So some of those people that come from organized sport, especially after high school or college when you are no longer in a sport, then coming to our gym gives you that gives you as close of replication as you can as those organized sports where you're used to working with a team and doing everything together, running your laps together, and whatever that is that you do in an organized sport, a team sport. This is the closest that we can get to that same camaraderie, which we all know that working together and working alongside someone is going to make a task a little more bearable, especially when we have to do the hard things in life. You know, doing them by ourselves, it's going to get challenging and we may not want to keep going on. But when we know that we have a teammate or a brother or sister right next to us that is saying, hey, come on, like, you know, we got one more rep or one more set left, like, you can do this, that goes a long way. And those are where those little pieces come about that we didn't know we needed that encouragement until it happened. Like, I can't tell you about some of the times that coaches had come along during class and they're like, good job, Ashley, you know, or you got this, you know, like, just one more set, you know, like one more rep. And I'm like, I didn't know I needed that, you know. And then it just gives you this extra boost or extra oomph of like, okay, somebody is watching me, but they're watching me because they care. They are watching me because they want me to move correctly. It's within my best interest that they are watching me. It is not for judgment. It is not for whatever you may think when you think that, oh, somebody's watching me work out. It is not that. Like, it is, they genuinely want to help you, to cheer you on, to make sure that you are doing your best. And again, that goes a long way of this feeling of belonging, that you're not in this alone. And so those two pieces of just the safety and the belonging, they're just important factors that you don't really think about. And it's hard to put a metric on that, or to put a maybe a standard on that as to like a reason to want to join a gym. But I do think that those pieces are important, because if you don't feel safe and you don't feel like you belong, it's going to make it harder to want to come in on the days that you are just dragging butt and, you know, life really isn't, you know, life's throwing you its curveballs and you may not have the motivation. But knowing that, oh man, so-and-so is going to be there, or the vice versa. If we haven't seen somebody in a while, it's like, hey, what are they doing? You know, why haven't they been? You know, people are checking in on people. And I love that. I love that it's not just our coaching staff that is concerned about the people. It is the people concerned about the people, and the people loving on the people. And that's what makes our community just so awesome, is that everybody wants what's best for everybody. And that's something that it's hard to show that. It's hard to explain that to somebody who hasn't been in it. And we get sometimes where people say that they feel intimidated to come into our space. And I think it's because of that. That's one of the elements of, you guys just seem so close, or like everybody knows what they're doing. We're all doing it together. You know, if we're lost on a movement, or like we get something we're like, what was that? Or what are we supposed to do? Like, I don't know. Like, were you listening? We get to do that together and be lost together. So it's not just us on our own trying to figure it out and be like, oh, I look stupid over here because I don't know what this means. No, that's okay. Like, because if you don't know what it means, somebody else may have that same exact question, you know, and then we just need clarity, or we laugh about it because we're like, oh my gosh, like that's what that meant, you know, and oh, I already knew that, right? You know, we say these things and we get to do it in this environment that you are safe and free from judgment, that everybody's cracking up with everybody. And I just love that. And, so also with all that, today we were having conversation about just getting started and some of our first moments at the gym, and how, you know, we just, the one the one gentleman said that he couldn't remember if it was his first group class or an intro session that he had done, but there was some time where he was coming into the gym and somebody was leaving and they said, "Oh, that was awful." And he was just like, "Okay." And so come to find out, that then he was able to relate, right? That it was just a day that was tough. And but we got to do that together. We got to share that experience together, and we get to laugh about it now, of just like, it was a tough day, and there was no sugarcoating that, and but it's all good, right? We all have a first. We all have a starting point, whether you have maybe it's the fitness part that you're nervous about, that you're like, I haven't worked out in a long time, or maybe I haven't worked out at all. I've never done a traditional gym and you don't have any of that. That's okay. That's what we're here for. That's why we teach you. That's why we have coaches at every class. Every interaction that you have in our gym, you are going to be coached and have a coach there to help you. So you have help and assistance, the guidance to be able to do this. And yeah, so I just love hearing those little stories about where people have come and that and how we're all in it together. I think that's the biggest piece here, is that we are in an environment that is safe, an environment where we feel belonging, and we get to do it together. So power of our community, and I cannot brag on our community enough for what they do for us as owners and what they do for our people, because there are times where we can't be everywhere, coaches included. There's only so much of us, right? And we are only one person. That's whenever our people step up and they help out, and they help out people that each other that have been there for a while. They help out the new people, like whatever is meant to be. Wherever there's a needing hand, that's where our people will be, and I love them for that. So if you've been looking for a community that encourages each other, supports each other, wants what's best for each other, and ready to have some laughs and some fun with this fitness thing, then we encourage you to reach out to us, set up a consultation. We love to have conversation with people. That's part of our intro process, is to come have a conversation with us and to get to know us to get to know you, and to find out whether we're going to be a fit for you or not. But it all starts with connection and conversation. So reach out to us, book that free consultation, and I'll be happy to see you. Bye, guys.